development projects that give women greater productive roles, but do not change the authority structures within the household. So when we talk about gender relations in development, we are talking about the authority structure. So when we bring a development project, should we also change the power structure and the authority structure within a household or within the community? For example, should we give men greater control over family money by encouraging them to market farm produce, which are produced by women? So, in the sense that when women produce rice, for instance, who should be doing the marketing? Who should be going to the market to sell the rice? Should it be just men, or should it just be men have access to the market, or should we draw women into the agricultural development projects where existing land codes do not recognize women's right to own land? Yeah. So basically, these are some of the questions. So this is about, should women, if let's say in a village or in an adat or in a community, women ownership of the land is not recognized, should we then bring or draw women into any land development projects in the area, right? So because the land codes do not recognize women's right to own land. So these are some of the questions of unequal power relations when it comes to development projects. So with that questions, so that has led to the emergence of gender and development. So it's not just merely about bringing women in development, but we need to talk about the power relations. So that is basically where, how and why gender and development approach came into being. So gender and development practitioners want to move beyond simply aiding women to development planning. That is the add and stir approach, where it is believed that women's needs can be addressed by simply recognizing their economic role or by including them in development projects. So they want to move beyond that, yeah? Where the practitioners insist that we understand people's social role as part of a gender, as a part of a system of gender relations that produces unequal relations between men and women. So they are more interested in terms of fighting for equality, making sure there is equality between men and women. So this gender system, this can lead to women's exploitation or loss of power as a result of development projects. So gender development practitioners want to make sure that this doesn't happen. Yeah. So because of that, they came up with a tool to make sure that women's position, their positions are protected, or their position is protected or added onto through development projects. So they came up with a tool called gender analysis to gain a deeper understanding of the ways development projects can contribute to unequal gender relations, at times creating new ones. And gender analysis to gain a deeper understanding of the ways development project can produce equal opportunities for men and women. So any development project, according to gender development approach, you need to do gender analysis to gain understanding, deeper understanding of these two. If development projects are going to contribute to unequal gender relations, and in fact create new ones, then you have to consider whether that is a worthy project, or if the development project has ways that can produce equal opportunities for men and women, so perhaps that is a worthy project to proceed with. So it's not just about basically adding women to the whole framework, but also to look at power relations. Yeah, so it should be about equal opportunity. So that's what gender analysis is all about, making sure that there is equal opportunities for both men and women. This is not about men against women against men and men against women, but to make sure there's equal opportunities for everyone, to secure fair opportunities for everyone. So this is basically a picture to indicate now, is there an equal opportunities. You look at these guys, to secure fair selection, you all get the same exercise, which is you must climb the tree. So, which of this animal will be the first one to climb the tree? Yeah, so that is about a question about opportunities. Now, that equal opportunities, how do you apply it in gender analysis? Look at this cartoon by Agroforestry Today. That's when we say the lie of the land means to do a survey about what's going on. And so this guy, you look at this guy here, he's a researcher. He want to do a gender analysis. He went into the village and to do it. So the first thing he asks is the women is, how do you make a living here? Do women work? So this lady said, no, we don't work. We just stay at home and fetch the water, find the firewood, and look after the cattle. And then the other one said, and prepare the garden and plant the seeds. And then added by the other one, and do the weeding, harvest the crops and sell them in the market, and then buy food at the market, cook meals and do the household chores, attend the women's group meetings for our communal tasks like making bricks for the school building, and washing and mending the clothes for the children we bear and raise. That's all. So no, we don't work. So you see the surprise on his face. So he's a bit confused. I just wanted to check. But that is basically because of his own assumptions. It's nothing to do with the women. It is basically because of his assumptions about work. What does work mean? When it doesn't include what they call it, subsistence farming, doesn't include things that your mother or your sister does at work, washing your clothes or cooking. So that's what do we mean by work? So those are the things. So with gender analysis, it help you to look into your own assumptions. So with gender analysis, you can look at whether men and women have equal opportunities in the development projects that you do. So it is a conceptual orientation that sees men and women's life as structured by gender norms and gender roles. We have seen that just now, all those gender roles that we have seen. These norms, roles exist across all scales of social life, from the most intimate interpersonal relationship to institutional and global systems, and reproduce gender relations that are unequal. Yeah? So the assumptions, the social life, economic life, even in the intimate interpersonal relationship seem to gear the society towards gender relations that are unequal. So the method is an approach that sees men and women as representative of distinct social groups with distinct gender roles. It investigates how these gender roles may affect the outcomes of development programs. It prefers participatory approaches which give men and women a voice in analyzing their own situation. So what can gender analysis tell us? It tells us who has access to resources, who has control over decision making, and who is likely to benefit from or lose out from a development project. It asks questions that lead us to search for information to understand why a situation has developed the way it has. It can lead us to explore traditional assumptions about the distribution of resources and the roles of men and women. With such information, measures can be created to address the disparities and promote equality. Yeah? So from this perspective, a gender analysis is important in all development planning and projects, and not only those marked as women's or girls' projects. So it's gender analysis is very, very important when you come to do development projects. So, and actually it's something that we apply in our work. And if you've seen the video with the Telecenter program, Amanda Orang Asli, we did gender analysis. Therefore, we designed the Telecenter to make sure that both men and women equally benefit from the project. So basically, gender analysis provide us it gives us an understanding there are disparities that exist between male and female rights, between their responsibilities, access to and control over resources, and then voice at household and community national level. So there are disparities, so you try to address that. So hence men and women have different priorities, they have different constraints and preferences with respect to development, and can contribute to and be affected differently by development projects. So to enhance development effectiveness, those considerations must be addressed in all programs, design, and intervention. Right? So gender analysis basically affirm the critiques towards development process where it is so geared towards basically measuring development from using gross national product, GNP or GDP, and the degree of industrialization. So, but it doesn't look at basic, doesn't look at the details in terms of including the relationship between men and women. So you can see that even when the GNP went up, millions of people remain poor, and gaps between urban and rural people and men and women often widen. Yeah. So also, although GNP measures the sum of all goods and services produced by countries national, the statistics used often do not reflect productive activities that are especially important for women who may work, for example, primarily in subsistence agriculture. So that is why it is important to do gender analysis. So it gives you an idea of what's really going on in the ground, and see how whether the things that you are doing can basically help both men and women to when it comes to opportunities. Now, this is the final part of the lecture this week. The further questions on women in development. Basically, this has relation to next week's lecture, which is poverty in development. That is, I put this up in your eLib. That is for you to watch a documentary called Solar Mamas. Are women better at eradicating, getting them to be involved in development? Is that a better move to eradicate poverty? Now, you can look at this documentary. It's a beautiful documentary, and I hope if we can watch them together. I don't know how you guys can do that. Yeah, so there are some questions you can look at. How does this documentary depict women's and men's gender roles and gender ideologies in Bedouin society? It is the film or documentary is made on the Bedouin society in Jordan. Now, the next question: how do gender roles and ideologies affect the outcome of this development project? Was there enough attention on Bedouin gender relations and gender inequalities in the projects? Some further questions to think about. Why did this development project focus on women as the solution to poverty? Is it realistic to expect that training 1 or 2 women can improve the welfare of a community? So this is basically a beautiful documentary. It's about 57 minutes. It's a film plus a documentary, so please do enjoy. I put it up in the eLib. All right, that's it for this week.